Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to day 26 of the Chronological Read Through the Bible. Today we're covering chapters 26 through 29. Now, I want to back up just a little bit to chapter 25. I didn't really touch on it yesterday, but in this one, this is where Bildad is going to say a few words to Job. And, at this point, Eliphaz, he gave a lengthy speech again for his third approach to Job's situation. Bildad's is going to be very short, and Zophar, the third friend, he's not going to say anything at all. He's pretty much, I think, after seeing Job's responses, he's done. But Bildad, he's going to first appeal to the greatness of God and basically say, how dominion and all fear belongs to God, and how he has the power over all things, and how all people should respect God. And it's really, again, to kind of come back and say, Job, I don't think you're really respecting God. Have you considered that you need to have a proper fear and respect of God? Again, wow, some great friends, isn't it? Well, Job again is going to respond to Bildad really with sarcasm. Job is very good at being sarcastic here. And so in his response to Bildad, he basically comes back and says he expresses this awe and how much help Bildad had given to one who needed power, how he had strengthened the arm of the one without strength. Like, oh, my friend, you've really strengthened me today. When it's actually quite the opposite. You really discouraged me. So I think it's good to just point out again Bildad and Job's response, how these people, you're not helping me at all. Well, I wanted to come down to, at this point, we're really coming to, by the time we get to chapter 29 to 31, we're really the final remarks, really, of Job. Now, Job will speak again one other point, but this is really kind of him wrapping up how he feels. But I just wanted to kind of in short today point out that chapter 28 is Job remembering the good times. And I just want to encourage you, when you are at that point of despair, think back about the good things that have happened in your life. Think about how God preserved you, how God protected you, how God met your needs. Think about what the Lord has done for you before. Think of the difficulties that the Lord brought you through in the past. It's one of the reasons why I keep a journal, and I've done so for now well over probably about, 34 years or so. And I don't get to write in it all the time. There's seasons that are gaps, and really I wish those gaps were filled in, because a lot of times the gaps in my journal taking is some of the best times. But the bad times oftentimes end up having a lot written in the journal. And then you would say, well, why write about the bad things? Well, because at the end of the day, I see how the Lord brought me through each of those difficult times. And it's almost more valuable to have those days journaled than it is to have some of the good ones, because when I see how the Lord provided and protected for me through the difficult situations, then it helps me to trust Him for the next one. So you think of it. Now, this again, spoiler alert, we're kind of jumping ahead here to the book of Joshua. But, God tells the children of Israel to erect the standing stones after they've crossed over the Jordan. And, of course, the Lord had stopped up the waters. We'll get to this very shortly, but the Lord told them to erect these stones so that they would be a memorial, a remembrance, and that when the children ask, what do these stones mean? He says, tell them. And it's to tell the people, we came to the Jordan River, it was at its flood stage, and the Lord stopped up the water, and we crossed over on dry ground. And then the Lord allowed the waters to flow again. And the Lord provided us, provided manna for us. He provided us with water when we were in the desert. He took care of us all those 40 years after having freed us from slavery in Egypt. So it was to be the mark so that the people would remember. And that's really what Job's ended up doing. By the time we get to chapter 28, he's reflecting back on the reputation that he had, the things that God had allowed him to do, the respect that people had for him. Remember this. This is a sad state, but good memories are oftentimes written in the sand. A lot of people do that, and the bad memories are chiseled into marble. Try to remember the good things that God's done for you. Now, as I said in my journal, a lot of times it's some of the difficult times I passed through, but the glorious part of the journal is where I write about how the Lord provided, how the Lord brought me through that time of difficulty, and then to think, well, if He did all of that back then, why would He abandon me now? And God's not going to abandon you now. Look to Him and cry out to Him. Well, brothers and sisters, I do hope that your day's going well. Until tomorrow, God bless.